We are joined by Chief Donna Black, the co-chair of Women Chiefs Council. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thanks for having me.
So tell us when the WCC was formed and what's their mission?
So in 2017, under the President, Chief Sinclair, and the board, they agreed to form two programs, one being Women Chiefs Council. So they brought in Chief Kara Kelk-Brenner and I to co-chair this, and they basically gave us a clean slate to look at women chiefs and what we can do to promote more women in the fire service and what do we need to do. So we had a clean slate. So we went into our first meeting in May in Henderson, brought in about 26 of what we identified as less than 65 bugle female chiefs, and had a meeting, and we just got in a room and said, hey, what do we need to do? How do we make it easier for folks to move up? What do we need? What are our challenges? What we found is we should all know each other. There was less than 65 bugle chiefs, and we realized we didn't know each other. 2 years later, we can call any of us can call each other and ask advice. So what we realized at the 5 bugle level, that we were there and we got there and we know how we got there, but how do we promote up from there? So that's where we've kind of put our focus.
Sounds like it's been very successful.
It has. We're going into our meeting tomorrow, and we've invited battalion chiefs and above to have all-day meetings, and looking forward to it in a large crowd tomorrow.
And that leads right into this question. What are you most looking forward to at this week's meetings at FRI?
The energy around us expanding who could come to the meeting. We started originally with just 5 bugle chiefs, just chief of the departments, and then we realized because we were there, it was those below that we, in ranks, we had to figure out how do we move them up, how do we encourage them, what can we do? So we're really focusing this meeting on battalion chiefs and above to come in. One of the things we're doing tomorrow, we're doing chief challenge chats. So we've asked a couple of the chiefs to identify a challenge they had at the 5 bugle level, how they solved it, and to provide solutions. Because what we were finding when we talked to folks is they had challenges and they didn't know how to work through that. So we're really focusing on the mentoring piece to try to make sure we can get people interested in wanting to move up to be 5 bugles and helping them work through that process.
Do you feel that that's the most pressing issue, is in a male-dominated industry trying to raise the women out there to want to become fire chiefs?
Yes. We were in a room, we did a panel discussion at a different conference, and we had about 8 of us up there, and every one of us said, well, we never thought we'd do this. And all the women in the audience were like, well, we want to do that, and you've got to tell us how to do that. And so we identified that that was the gap maybe, and there's people out there that want to move to that 5 bugle level, but they just don't know how. So we're hoping we can focus on that piece with mentoring.
So you've accomplished a lot in 2 years. Where do you see this taking women in firefighting 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
I think the big thing is we all need to be involved and be out there and be role models and be willing to speak at FRI, write articles so that firefighters all around the country, quite frankly all around the world, know that it's possible to get to that level. So I think our biggest thing is to make sure that we're out there saying, hey, it is possible to be a 5 bugle chief, and try to help them with the resources so that 5-10 years from now it's not really a conversation, it's just a norm.
Fantastic. Chief Donna Black, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.